this quick hit video, we're going to look at one of the fundamentals of positioning, which is your angle. What is your angle? You hear commentators all the time talking about good angle, bad angle, sharp angle, dead angle shots. Angles are everywhere, math is everywhere in goaltending, but geometry is actually our friend. The first thing I want to do when defining angle is start at the very middle of the goal line. Draw a line from that point to wherever the puck is. Wherever the puck moves along the ice, the line is going to follow and the angle changes. So notice the two yellow sticks as they're kind of converging and forming an angle. Whether it's on the inside of that line or the outside is somewhat arbitrary, but I think this is helpful to view it over here as the puck moves a little bit lower and that angle actually gets a little bit sharper, which sort of defines the sharp angle shot. If we call that the midline, every goaltender is also going to have a midpoint. If you find your belly button and you draw a line straight up and straight down from there, where those lines are radiating from is going to be the midpoint of your body. You can see our demo goalie here has that orange midpoint, and for a goalie to be on angle, it means that their midpoint is directly lined up with the midline, that puck line. Anytime the puck moves along the ice, the midline changes, and the goaltender has to readjust and realign their midpoint with the midline. If the puck moves to a new angle and you fail to line up your midpoint with that midline, you're going to be off your angle, meaning that you're going to have overlapping coverage on one side. You're actually covering area outside the net, and the other side is going to be a wide open net. You're going to give yourself room that you're not going to be able to reach. Again, with the three fundamentals of positioning, angle, square, and depth, you'll typically hear people talk about finding the angle first, then squaring up, and then finding your depth. We'll cover depth in another video, but I just wanted to go over why it's this order. Why angle first and then squaring up after? And angle first for me means a couple of things. So if you prioritize angle, you give yourself a chance to reach the shot. If you're on angle, you've got a chance to get there. Prioritizing angle means quickest path to a new angle, and I'll show you what that means in a minute. Being on angle is a prerequisite for becoming square to a shot. If the puck starts in the middle of the ice and then a pass is made and then it's passed down to somebody around the dot lane, the goaltender has to move to adjust to that new angle. The first simulation here will kind of represent the goalie if they choose to maintain their depth and prioritize depth over angle. In this scenario, the goaltender is prioritizing their angle first, so they're trying to get on angle as quick as they can. Once they're there, they'll worry about their depth. They're on angle first. You can see that they've backed off a little bit. It might be a little bit tough to tell, but the depth first arrow is actually a little bit longer than that angle first arrow, and I'll show you the math behind why this is. So one thing to keep in mind when looking at this is that the shortest line does not necessarily mean the most optimal line. The optimal line is not always the shortest line. In reality, it's usually closer to a bit of an arc or a curved line. I more just wanted to highlight some of the theory behind why angle is typically chosen first over depth. So squaring up comes only after you're on angle to the new angle. You cannot be square to a shot before you're on angle. I'll show you why. Think of being square as presenting the most possible surface area to the puck. So this orange square inside the red frame there is just sort of a metaphorical representation of the goalie looking straight at the goalie. So the two yellow points on top of the orange square are the same as the two yellow points on the goalie's shoulders. And as the goalie rotates off square, you can see how you're presenting a little bit less surface area. This is a little bit exaggerated, but it illustrates the point pretty well here, I think. So we'll take that box, apply it to the front of the goalie. The connecting line between the 2 points, so those 2 points have to be points of symmetry on the goaltender. So toes, knees, hips, shoulders, hands, anything that you can create a line of symmetry from. If that line of symmetry intersects the midline at 90 degrees, then you know that you are square to a shot. And you can actually be off square in a couple of different ways. So one of those ways is to actually not be on angle. And this is sort of that nonsensical trying to square up to a puck before you're on angle. So although you might be facing the puck, remember that surface area that you're covering in front of you, that red zone on this graphic, extends directly behind you as well. And you can see how even though you might be facing a puck, that surface area that you're covering, that actual part of the net, has actually nothing to do with a proper angle. You can try and tweak it and rotate all you want, but you're never going to find square if you're off angle. And the second way you can be off square is if you are on angle but just twisted. So think of this as if you're actually on angle, but your shoulders, your knees, your hips, any one of those points of symmetry or even all of them are actually facing something other than the puck, even though your midpoint is directly above the midline. So we'll draw that black line as our point of symmetry, and as the goaltender rotates back into proper square, you can achieve that 90-degree intersection or square, and that can only happen once you're already on angle. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. For random, sporadic, and inconsistent updates, follow on Twitter at CortexGoal. If you'd like to contribute or you're looking for a tax write-off, visit patreon.com/CortexGoaltending.